Alrighty, back at you with another one. And this time we have a double review of two sets that I've been wanting to get for quite some time right now. This is the Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, Kong versus Skar King, and Godzilla versus Shimo 4-piece diorama set. This is the battle sets for both of them. And, you know, I had been wanting to get these different color variations of, you know, Godzilla, Kong, Skar King, and Shimo with the different color paint on them for quite some time. I just never, somebody actually picked them up for me in New Jersey. So, you know, these sets haven't been in any of the Targets in Brooklyn that I've been going to and getting the Playmates. You know, I got lucky and was able to collect the whole 6-inch set as well as the second wave, but they've never had any of these sets. So now I've gotten a chance to get my hands on them, and you know, we can do the review. So I just wanted to show you the front of both of them, and then, you know, I'll break down each box individually when I review them. Alrighty? So let's get into it. Okay, so first on the menu is going to be Kong versus Skar King. And you're going to get a heave with this. It's a 4-piece diorama set here. Of course, you got the same, you know, GXK styled box with the pinks and the crystals. Nice picture of Kong and Skar King on the front here. I'm interested to see this paint job of Skar King here, and man, does Kong look good, you know? Playmates does such a nice Kong. I'll tell you, I think that they've gotten to the point where they really perfected Kong. And of course, it's Kong with the Beast Glove. Skar King has the Whip Slash. But I love this painted variation of Kong. I love the yellows and the orange and reds. I love the yellow on his beard. Looking very, very nice. And it's a nice box. You have Kong and Godzilla here with the crystals on the side. You're going to have a picture of the whole entire set here and what it comes with. 4-piece Lava Falls diorama set. This is the Lava Falls set. So you're going to have the typical write-up here. I've read it a billion times here. You could check it out for yourself. And it's going to show you a picture of the whole set here on the back, Kong versus Skar King. It's going to show you what the set includes, which is a 2-piece Lava Falls diorama, 2 Hollow Earth crystal dioramas, a Kong, a Skar King, a Whip Slash, and a heave. Shows you that right here. Kong with the Beast Glove. And, yeah, Godzilla X Kong on the top. On the bottom, it's going to show you another picture of what the set includes. And then it also is going to show you a picture of the set of Godzilla and Shimo with the bone cage diorama set. So that's what we have here. Let's get them out of the box and get into it further. Okay, and now we have the Godzilla X Kong, the new Empire, Godzilla versus Shimo. This is another 4-piece diorama set here. And you're going to have the same style of the GXK box with a nice picture of Godzilla and a picture of Shimo here on the front. Wow, the paint job's looking pretty crazy on Godzilla. I really, really like the blues on his chest straight off the bat. That's kind of interesting. I'm happy to have this variation of him. Shimo doesn't appear to have too much different. You know, you're going to get the baby blue on the dorsal plates. And you look like you get a little blue here on the side, if you could see that. I'll have to get her out of the box to really take a look at how different it is. but it doesn't look much different from the original 6-inch figure. I don't know if there's a slight bit of blue on the dorsal plates on his head. There's a little right there, you could see that, but it doesn't look, as far as paint is concerned, that is tremendously different from the original 6-inch, but we'll look further when we get it out. Box is the same. You have Godzilla and Kong on the side here with the crystals. You're going to have a picture of the 4-piece bone cage diorama set here. Godzilla versus Shimo. On the back, we're going to get the same GXK write-up. Godzilla versus Shimo. You're going to see what the set includes. 2-piece bone cage diorama, 2 Hollow Earth crystals, Godzilla, Shimo, frostbite breath, and Godzilla's heat ray. So it's going to show you that right there. Godzilla, the heat ray, Shimo, and the frostbite breath. And then the crystals in the bone cage diorama. And that's what we have here. Top, GXK. The bottom is going to show the same thing as the last one did, where it'll show you what the set includes, and then it'll show you, also look for the Kong and Skar King diorama. So we have both now, and I'm very excited. I'm excited that I was able to get them both together, and for the price that they sell for in the store, which is great, you know. Yeah, so this wound up being $40, $20 a set, and we're going to get them all out of the box and break it down one by one. Okay, so before I take it out of the box, I just want to show you what it's sitting in, with the really nice background. And that looks great. And then it comes with, you know, a package with the diorama set and instructions on how to put it all together, which you can see here. It just shows you how to build it. So, but that looks really nice. All right. And the packaging is going to be the same for Godzilla and Shimo here. You're going to get the really nice crystal background, which looks great. You're going to have both of their tails included here, and both of their breath pieces as well. And of course, you have the diorama, and you're going to get instructions on how to put it together and how to put their tails on. So that's what we're looking like. The inside packaging of the box is really, really nice. Okay, so I wanted to give you, you know, the whole entire little world here after everything is built. Not that difficult to put the dioramas together. It doesn't really take that long. You can see them here. Here's the 2 sets of crystals, the purple ones and the blue ones. And you have the lava falls and the bone cage. And it looks nice, you know. Basically just tried to recreate the pictures from the back of the box. So I'm gonna leave it as so and just do each figure one by one for you. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's start off with Kong. So Kong is looking great. Like I said, Playmates is really like starting to perfect Kong. And their Kongs are really, really nice. Their Kongs might be nicer than anything else, you know. They really, really nail the sculpt of it. I love the way they do the fur on Kong. Like, look at that right there. Look at the fur on the top of his head and on his shoulders and arms. Looks great, as well as on the bottom of the chest here. And the color scheme of this is fantastic. It's really, really, really popping. I love the yellow and red or orange red mixed with a little bit of blood red on his chest. It's also on his knees and on his arms. And it's really nice. That's, I guess, meant to reflect, you know, a reflection of the lava. you know, because this is a lava fall set, so you could see the yellows and oranges in the diorama, and, you know, that's what color they have Kong. I love how the tip of his beard is yellow. That looks really nice. The beast glove looks great. You can see all of the details on it here, the cog. This figure is just very, very well done. Of course, you're going to get the heave. But I love that. If you could see here, Kong's eyes are really well done. Looks like a mean, pissed off Kong. The mouth is fantastic. The tongue really, really looks good. The teeth are very well done. Excellent. Excellent. The only thing, you know, that kind of confuses me about this set in particular is, you know, if this is to represent, you know, Kong and Skar King fighting in Skar King's lair where the lava falls were, then they should have given him the axe, not the beast glove, because he didn't have the beast glove by that point in the movie. But it's whatever, you know what I mean? That's neither here nor there, and it's still cool. It's still a cool set. You know, and nothing's really making sense of it, you know, anyway, because, you know, Godzilla and Shimo did not fight by the bone cage, you know what I mean? Those ribs were also in Skar King's lair, so, you know, it's just defies reality. It's a stylistic approach at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, but it's cool to have. So, but yeah, we're gonna dive a little deeper on Kong. I'm gonna pose him for you and show you a little bit of what he can do. Okay, now one thing is actually cool. You can actually pull out the inside of the box, the inside of the packaging, and it has this really cool background, basically, like where the Iwis try to, you know, suspend gravity for a while here with the two pyramids facing each other. So you could set it up like that and really create a nice looking scene, you know. You could either have, you know, you could either put the figure in the box, you know, and just basically have it like that, which is super cool, you know. So just thought I would show you that. That looks awesome. Of course, you could get Kong in a nice running pose, which always looks so good on Playmates, you know. It fits it perfectly. The articulation allows for it on the Playmates to make it look like he's running, and it's really nice. Yeah, you could basically get him in a nice, you know, all fours pose, you know, which looks great. Both arms stretch all the way down, so you can, it's probably better off to do it with the arm with the beast glove to just get him like that. You know, you could have him like, you know, galloping on all fours. This Kong is so nice, man. Look at that paint job. It just makes it pop against the background. And that really, really looks amazing. I love Playmates Kongs. And you could get him in a really nice battle pose here, where it really looks like he's about to throw a punch with the beast glove. Yeah, man, look at that. Look at how awesome. Look at how much that pops. I love the color choice for this. It's so nice that they did that. It just, something about the yellow and red paint that just contrasts so well with Kong's brown fur, you know? And it just, it looks very, very nice. Now, I also want to point out that you're getting a ball joint in the head, which allows him to look up and down a little bit. You see that? It doesn't move much, but it's there. And that's like something new, you know, compared to some of the older Kongs. You can move his head up and down a little bit, which is very, very cool. Okay, and then next up is Skar King, who looks really good too. Like, I was very interested in this paint job with Skar King, where he has a lot more brown on his arms and shoulders, and on his knees, you know, on the top of his legs, and going into his abdomen and chest. And there's also, you also get a little bit of brown reflection on the whip slash, which is really cool. The front of it, the part is brown. So that's really nice too. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's cool to have that contrast on Skar King because he was so bright red on a lot of the other figures. It's kind of nice to see him with the shade of brown like that, you know? Skar King is a top-heavy figure. I should really note that for you, you know what I mean? You have to balance him correctly, and if you could see his, you know, feet here, they're not exactly flat on the ground. They never really are when you're trying to balance it. When you try to put them flat is when it doesn't really stand. So you have to get it into a position where you can balance it correctly, because he is a little top heavy. You know, he has the whip slash around him, and his arms are kind of long. So, you know, he can fall. You know what I mean? So you must balance him properly to get him to stand, but he does stand though, and I think he looks rather nice. It's a little bit different on the paint, you know. Face looks good, eyes and teeth. Yeah, I mean, this is great. You know what I mean? You're getting these sets here for $20. You know what I'm saying? That's great. You know, not only you're getting a figure for less than 10, really, because you're paying for the Diorama set as well. So, yeah, you really can't go wrong with these figures from Playmates. You're getting nice figures for the price, and I love that. And then I'm sure of course, the whip slash comes off. You could put it in his hand as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to pose Skar King for you now and give you a little bit of a deeper dive and see what he can do. Okay, and now we have Skar King. And this is a really nice contrast here, too. Like where Kong has the bright red and yellow, Skar King is going to have a darker, smokier type of brown on him. You know, from, I guess, the brown parts, so the darker black parts of the lava. You know what I mean? And it's the reflection. It's like the darkness is gonna go to the evil guy, you know what I mean? And I think that's cool. I also think it's very cool how they did a little bit of brown on the whip slash as well. But that looks really, really good. And like I said before, he's a little bit top heavy, you know, so it takes a while to pose him. But let's put him into a couple different poses for you. Now you could get him into a really nice, like, action pose or walk. He actually did this pose in the movie when Kong escaped his lair, and he was trying to, like, tell the other apes to follow him. He kind of, you saw him like walking fast and telling them to go after him. So, and that looks really, really nice. His teeth look good. The eyes look good. Yeah, I like Playmates Skar King for the most part. You know, I like the way they do the fur on the apes. Of course, his face paint here, that war paint, that looks awesome. And, yeah, you know, like, I like this variation because it was so bright red before. It just seems like more natural to have this brown on him. And just like Kong, you can basically get him into like a kind of an all-four pose as well. His arms are really long, so it's even easier to do it with him. But you got to bend at the elbow. The arms move out and around. Knees bend. Legs move in and out, you know. There's no ball joint on the head like with Kong here, where he looks up and down. He could just look side to side. So, yeah. Just show you that off the bat. But that looks pretty good. Okay, now that looks great with the whip slash right here. We could take a closer look at his chest. And it's actually very interesting how there's a little like white on one side and brown on the other. I love that. I love the combination of that, the way his chest looks. You can't really see it when the whip slash is around his chest, but that looks awesome. Of course, you get a nice swivel here at the abdomen. And this is what the whip slash is looking like. Now, the one thing that gets me about the Playmates with as far as Skar King goes is they have the whip slash basically backwards. They want you to put it into his hand on this side, but he really held it here from the jawbone. This side was really the crystal that controls Shimo. So, but luckily this side fits into his hand. I was a little bit more careful with it, you know, because it's got the brown paint on it, but you know, it does fit into his hand that way, and that just looks great. Looks like he's whipping that thing around to battle, you know, and that looks awesome. Paint looks great on him. Now this is a great pose right here, where you could get him like, he looks menacing right there. Look at that face. Where he's like bringing the whip slash behind him and smacking it on the ground before he shoots it out. Excellent, man. This is a very cool Skar King figure. And you could set it up where they're basically squaring off. You know, Skar King with the whip slash and Kong throwing a punch with the beast glove. And of course, if you see fit, you could always swap the Kong out with the battle axe Kong and just recreate the battle in Skar King's lair, basically, you know, if that's the way you choose to pose it on the shelf. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the big G himself, Godzilla. And his color's crazy. It's really popping as well. You're getting like a really nice baby blue mixed with a little bit of electric blue, like a tad bit. On his chest and legs. You can see that here, which is really, really nice. It just makes the figure pop. I actually quite like it. You know, I'm not a fan of the creamy light pink tail. It would be nice if, you know, they did the tail similar to the way they did it on the, I believe it was the Battle Roar, where it's like actually more red or reddish pink or whatever. Or if they just, you know, maybe kept some of those spikes translucent, like the dorsal plates here. But it's whatever. It doesn't look bad. It goes fairly well. You know what I mean? It's just you know, the translucent dorsal plates stand out so much, along with the atomic breath piece that you get here, which is very nice, by the way. It's a nice shape, slides right into his mouth. You know, it would pop so much more of the figure if these were translucent, and, you know, the spikes, maybe the tail, I don't know. Or just painted closer to the color of the atomic breath and the dorsal plates. It's nice regardless, you know, and I'm happy to have this variation of them, because I quite like the blue that they have painted on his neck and chest and legs. You know, teeth are okay. They're never going to be spectacular on a Playmates Godzilla, but these are actually quite nice. If you could see it, you could see like the individual teeth. And that looks pretty damn good. Eyes are okay. I find the eyes to be just a little wonky on some of these involved Godzilla Playmates figures. They look too big or whatever, you know. It's just pink with a black eyeball. I don't know. It's whatever. You just accept it. You know what I mean? And it is pretty cool. I think they have to improve the way they do Godzilla slightly. Playmates, you know, like they did with Kong. Because Kong is so good and so accurate, and Godzilla looks a little dopey sometimes, but I don't know. This is a cool Godzilla regardless. I really, really like the paint job. It jumps out at you when you first see it, you know. And obviously they went with this blue color, I guess, maybe to reflect the ice breath from Shimo. You know what I mean? It's giving you a very cold feel. You could see here on the bone cage, you know, you have the red, but it's mixed with like lavender, purple, you know. So you're mixing that blue in to convey like Shimo and the fact that it's cold from the ice breath, and I like that. So let's pose Godzilla, and I'll show you what he could do. All right, so now we got Godzilla. I really like this variant of Godzilla here. The paint is really hitting. It's very interesting. There's something about the light blue paint that really makes the figure stand out, and it looks good. I like that you could use this as a backdrop. That's dope. And the blue crystals bring out the blue on his paint. So let's pose him some. You could get Godzilla in a nice running pose as well, which looks pretty cool. Yeah, the Playmates are built for running poses, which make them look actually really nice. You're getting the feet move. You're getting the tail is on a ball joint, and the arms go all the way around, and that's very, very nice. Cool running pose. And the head moves side to side as well. You could get Godzilla in a really nice tail off the ground pose as well, which makes it look like he's looking for something on the ground, and that's awesome. That's awesome that you're able to get that kind of articulation on a $9.99 figure. You know what I mean? That's why I love Playmates, because that's a cool pose that you could get him into. It's dope that you could balance him to get him with a tail off the ground pose, and that looks awesome. Basically get him into like a kind of running or walking and shooting the atomic breath pose as well, like which he did in Godzilla X Kong several times. Yeah, he definitely ran up on Shimo like that, which is cool that you could recreate that. This is nice, you know. Playmates is nice. You're gonna get more poses out of the Kong figures than you do out of Godzilla. You know, I like their Godzillas. I do think they need to step their game up on it. You know, in pretty much every way: sculpt, articulation, paint job. You know, but I still think it looks cool, and I still think this variation of it looks cool. So I'm definitely happy with it. Now I just want to give you a head-on front view of Godzilla, because A, I think he looks very nice like this, and B, just so I could show you that paint job on the front, which looks great. It's actually pretty detailed, this figure. Playmates figures are nice, like they're getting there as far as the detail is concerned, and the nooks and crannies are getting better. I like it. Very, very nice. Let's move on. All right, next up is Shimo. And she's looking pretty good. Of course, you're going to get the ice breath piece with her. You're going to get some nice ice blue eyes. It looks fairly similar to the normal the normal 6-inch figure. They just added some light blue on the dorsal plates on the back of her head, and on the dorsal plates here and here and here. And then, if you could see here, they just like some slight blue paint on the sides, on her rib cage. Very, very faint light blue paint. You know, and so I feel they could have gone a little more with that. Honestly, I would have loved it if they would have dry brushed her that baby blue that they did on the dorsal plates. You know, that would have really brought it out a little more. Yeah, you know, in the movie, her dorsal plates are kind of, you know, white, this baby blue, and just a little bit of purple, like in one of the scenes. You know, they look really more closer to this blue in the movie. But it looks nice. You know what I mean? I like the color better on this one than the original 6-inch figure. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that blue needed to be included, and I'm glad it's there now. So, all right. So let's pose her, and I'll show you what Shimo can do. Okay, and last but not least, certainly that brings us to Shimo. I think it's a better figure than the plain 6-inch. That's the bottom line, because there's more colors going on in it, and the you know, the dorsal plates have this nice North Carolina blue on it that probably should have been on it all along. You know, I don't quite understand this little tiny shading of blue on his rib cage here. You know, it's just very little. Why didn't they go in a little deeper with that and have that like on the detail on on her legs? You know, I would have loved to seen that paint, you know, like basically all over her, shading her the same way it was on the front of Godzilla or on Kong's chest, but just more pronounced, you know. But anyway, I love Shimo's dorsal plates. They're very nice. I love the paint and the tail, and the paint on the tail and the Thagomizer. Looks really, really nice. Of course, yeah, you got those ice blue eyes. But, you know, let's pose her a little bit, and I'll show you just to give you from that side also. And it's like so faint, that blue that they put on there. It's just, I don't know what the purpose of it is, but you could see the paint job on the tail. Super nice. But let's pose her a little bit. Okay, now the tail definitely moves all the way around. You could lift it up like that on the side and have the Thagomizer pointing that way. Can make him look like he's walking or running here, which, once again, you know, that's just another Playmates figure that looks good in a motion pose. You know what I mean? And that means if it looks good in a motion pose, it has pretty good articulation. So, yeah, it's nice. The face of Shimo is kind of nice. The teeth, they could have done a little bit better. It looks like they just painted the top row of teeth a little bit yellow, and I don't really see it on the bottom. Of course, the inside of the mouth leaves something to be desired. It's just this tongue here, and then that's it, you know. The rest of it looks like he's chewing on a keg of beer. So, you know, I recommend, like, if you're going to pose this, it looks the best with either the mouth closed or with the ice breath in his mouth, so you don't see that, you know. Not the best inside of the mouth for a Playmates figure, you know. And with the help of her tail balancing her, you can get her on a, you know, two-legged pose, which kind of looks cool. The head turns around side to side. The arms go around and in and out, which is pretty cool. So you can open them up wide like that. And yeah, I wish we would have gotten to see Shimo a little bit more on her hind legs in the movie, you know. But anyway, that looks pretty cool. And you could, so this is about how wide you can get the arms here. So you see that, you could get her basically really low. You could point the tail and the Thagomizer down. Looks really nice with the ice breath. The ice breath looks good. So that'll probably stay in her mouth on my shelf. But yeah, pretty cool. And you could also make her look like she's turning to the side with the way you can turn the feet and turn her head. So you make it look like she's just looking to the side, which is cool. Pretty good articulation on these Playmates figures. All right, so let's keep going. And this is about how far you could get her head down to look, and the tail down, so you could really have it look like she's got her head on the floor. She really looks like a dog there, which, you know, she's basically a pet in the movie. You know what I mean? Like, well, she's basically Skar King's slave, and then, you know, Kong's pet. So pretty cool. Shimo's cool. And what's cool is just combining both sets, both diorama sets, and just creating it like that. That looks awesome. Because, you know, both the bone cage and the lava fall were basically in the same place. They were in Skar King's lair, you know. So that looks kind of cool. And I brought out, these are all three of the 6-inch GXK that I own, just to show you, to compare. This is, you know, the Kong with the battle axe with the partially closed mouth. You have the 6-inch Beast Glove Kong, and you have this Lava Falls diorama set Kong. And look at those. You know what I mean? Like, those are three beautiful figures. Awesome figures by Playmates. Awesome looking Kongs. Very screen accurate. The eyes make the figures come to life. They're very expressive. They're great paint job. Great fur. I can't say enough about it. Getting a Playmates Kong is like really makes me happy. Like, that's that could make my day. It's one of the things I really enjoy doing, getting a Playmates Kong and reviewing it, you know. Beautiful. $9.99 a figure, man. How are you going to go wrong? All right. Now, here we have all of the 6-inch Godzillas from GXK that I have from Playmates. And we have the Heat Ray Godzilla right here, which is a very nice figure. The Energized Godzilla, which looks great. We have Godzilla Evolved. We have Godzilla from the Bone Cage diorama set right here. And we have Rubber Goji. Now listen, I don't tolerate any hate on Rubber Goj on my channel. You know, you hate on Rubber Goj, you're getting blocked. I'm just kidding. You can't ever hate on Rubber Goji. But Rubber Goji got a 6-inch figure inside of it as well. But I won't take it out because I like the way he looks like that. So, yeah. But these are my GXK Playmate Godzillas. And they all look really, really good. For $9.99, they're great figures, folks. Okay, and here's both of my 6-inch Skar Kings. Obviously, you could see this is way brighter as far as the red is concerned. Yeah, this just takes a cake. That's a much nicer figure with the brown paint on it, you know. It just gives it some contrast, and it makes it look doper. Even the whip slash looks better. You could see that. So, yeah. But happy to have both anyway. So, both very cool figures. Okay, so this is both of my 6-inch Shimos. You know, you can see that this one is much more purple as far as the dorsal plates and the tail are concerned. This tail is purple too, but you have, you know, purple going all the way down, and it's a lighter purple on this one. This is a much darker purple. And it looks like the bone cage set Shimo's head is able to raise a little higher, because you can see the ice breath goes up a little higher. I think it raises up just a little bit, a notch. But they both have the same articulation. And you can see that has the light blue on his rib cage, where here it's just pure white. All right, so cool. And of course, you could recreate that scene where they're basically all running towards each other in the Hollow Earth, and then, you know, then they're fighting at 0 gravity. But, you know, Kong jumps up on Godzilla, launches himself off, And Skar King launches himself off for Shimo, and they just start the battle that way, you know. But so that's nice. You could do the whole set like that. I borrowed the axe from Battle Axe Kong because at that point in the movie, Skar King had the axe. But very cool that you could recreate this scene. I love it. And finally, to end it off, we're going to end it the same way GXK ended, with the victorious and triumphant Kong and Zuko riding back to the rest of the apes on Shimo and roaring and celebrating. And that was a nice way to end the movie. But borrowed Zuko for that. So yeah, this is a great set. Highly recommend it. Go out and get it so you can have the different variations. That's what being a collector is. This doesn't disappoint, this set. And yeah, I'll be back at you with another one. Peace.